Welcome everybody to another episode of Hidden in the Universal Vault. I'm Ron, your host, and I thought we're going to continue this month-long October we're going to continue the month of October with viewing more spooky movies. I thought we'd go ahead and take a look at a Universal film released through their Shudder program and released exclusively. This is a Universal film coincide with Shudder Productions, Boar. Now, Boar is a 2018 film, is what I forgot to mention. This originally was only available to watch as a Shudder exclusive. So, in order to watch this movie at first, you have to download the Shudder app, and the Shudder app will let you watch this movie. Now, thanks to the company RLJE Films, they helped put out this film. They decided to put it out on physical media. And for a first-time experience, what did I think of this Shudder exclusive? Well, I can easily tell you what the title is. Boar is boring. That's really what I like to qualify the film. Let's actually talk about the movie. This was just super boring. Like, the whole movie, and get this, the cast, the actor that's probably well known in this is Bill Moseley. And this actor was in probably my favorite horror movie to come out in the 2000s, The Devil's Rejects. He was the main guy in that film. Fantastic in that movie. I mean, that performance was like Oscar worthy in my opinion. That performance chilled me. So he plays a family man. Basically, it centers around a family that heads to the Australian outback. Turns out that they're covered with these insane boars, these pig-like creatures with horns or tusks or stuff like that. And the thing about it is these boars have these like red visions. Yeah, they have like red vision that can seek their prey. But it's just, to be honest, boring. Then they go ahead and it's weird because Bill Moseley's only an American of an all-Australian cast. His girlfriend or wife, Australian. His kids, Australian. Half the cast is Australian. Most of the time, it's just Australians, rednecks, trying to fight these boar-like creatures. Good night. Sorry about that. I was just, yeah. So anyways, let's move on with that. Anyways, these creatures, they're boars, but yeah, the movie makes no sense. Then we got a guy who's like a big gun nut and excuse me. Sorry if I coughed there. A little bit of dry throat. Anyways, so basically, I don't know what to say. They go into a bar. This girl gets in a fight with not in a fight with a girl, but tries to hit on her, and she's not liking it. Then all of a sudden, the bald guy, I can't think of his name, but he's like the brother of his girlfriend. Just, I don't know what to think about Boar. It's really hard for me to review when I just sat there bored. I honestly really didn't get much of anything. And I don't know why Universal contacted Shudder to put out this exclusive. And to be honest, this should have just been a Shudder exclusive because the movie's kind of shit. But again, that's just my opinion. Others may like it, others may not. Cinema Sickness did review it on his channel. He thought it was just okay. I mean, I agree with mostly what he says, but it's just super. My opinion, it was boring. He thought it was just okay. I thought it just was boring, and it just was a total mess from start to finish. Now, let's get to the biggest sin of this film, the special effects. I don't know if they want to do a cheesy creature feature or cheesy B-rated film. This movie was put out by major studio Universal. When they contacted Shudder, these effects should have been good. I've never seen a Universal film with shit effects that don't really make anything. Wow. This is just... I'm baffled. It's a great idea. Some of the effects can be good, and other times they can look like shit. There's a scene in the film, I'm going to kind of give away most of this film because I don't think anybody with a brain should sit through this. But anyways, one guy who pushes Bill Moseley's character, he gets eaten by the boar, but when the boar starts chewing him up, the effects look really bad. It almost like an early 2008-2009 PlayStation 3 game. That's how bad the effects are. They're as bad as old PlayStation 3 graphics. You know, in the early days of PlayStation 3 where the graphics were not very good, Boar is the true example of special effects looking like a PlayStation game from 2008. That's not what you make special effects. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of the blood effects, though, were pretty good. Some of the stuff, like there's one scene where it gets caught in barbed wire. That looked really cool. They use a lot of practical effects and blood packets and stuff like that. That's good. When the boars are there, there's a beginning scene where a couple are driving their car. They're driving, and all of a sudden they stop, and you can see the boars gallop. That looks okay at times, but when Moseley's characters get eaten and spin around, it looks really bad. But when you see his decapitated head, it looks fine. It looks almost like a dummy at times. And yeah, true, I think it does work at times. But when the boars are trying to eat and do all that, it looks really tacky, and it comes out looking like shit. Is there any positives I can think of this film before I go on to final verdict? Surprised that Bill Moseley was the only actor who really gave a try, but like I said, he gets killed within 5 minutes of the film, and I thought the bald guy was going to get it, but turns out he survived it. So, yeah, wow. I'm flabbergasted. So, let's get to it right now. I think I mentioned everything what I had to say about this film. I'm not going to go on too long because I don't want this video to be too long. So anyways, final verdict, should you see Boar? No. N-O, no. This is one of the worst movies I've ever watched. Now, I gave Shudder a chance. Now, so far, with this movie being bad, I don't think Universal will ever work with Shudder anymore on this. This is really bad. This is the worst movie I ever watched. Is this going to go on the worst list? You just gotta have to find out. But I will tell you right now, it's definitely going to make it on my honorable mentions bad list. But I don't know if this is going to make it on my list. It's not as bad as the other movies I've covered. I've covered worse films, but this is right up there with some of the worst of the worst. I can't recommend Boar. This movie was bought at $1. I bought this at Dollar Tree a couple years back for $1. And even then I committed a crime with using my dollar when I could have bought something else. The real only positive is it actually has good disc art, but it even talks about the Shudder program. So if you're interested in this, like, I'm not going to get the Shudder program, but yeah, that's what the disc looks like. So you get some nice disc art. One of the rare Universal titles I have, well, I don't think I own it anymore, that has disc art. But yeah, that's the guy I was trying to talk about. I forgot to mention. Yeah, that guy right there. Yeah, some of the townsfolk. I also forgot to mention the townfolk are kind of idiots. Some of them are just plumb dumb. I will say I liked a lot of what this is. This is an awesome idea, and I'm gonna get over the one positive in this film. When you see the boars in this like red eye effect, that's really cool. That's awesome. That's really the only positive I can say. Everything else is just bad. It's really awful. It's boring. Nothing works. The characters are complete idiots. The characters are not likable. No one in this even tried their hardest. Bill Moseley really tried. I really wanted to like something else because he was really good in Devil's Rejects, and I wanted to watch another movie from this actor and see how he did outside of the Rob Zombie trilogy of his films. So in terms of that, he was okay, but the movie is just clearly bad for the sake of being bad. And this is going to be one of the worst movies I've ever watched for this entire series. Might make it on the worst, might make it on the honorable mentions. Who knows? We'll see. But until then, just do yourself a favor, guys. Do not watch Boar. If you have the Shudder app, don't click on it. Don't even watch it. It's a cautionary tale of how not to make a B-movie creature film, but done wrong. The effects should not look this bad. If they were done with practical effects and the characters were somewhat likable and not paper thin and terrible, then I would easily recommend Boar just for the characters alone. But it's an awful train wreck from start to finish. So do yourself a favor. If you get the Shudder app and you see Boar, it might be on YouTube to watch. Don't bother watching on YouTube, and don't bother watching on the Shudder website or the Shudder app or whatever you like to call it. So I'm out. I'm gonna say goodbye, and stop by the channel. Check what else I got on the channel, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. You know what to do. All that stuff. Like, comment, share, subscribe, do whatever, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.